Hey there. Today we'll be doing a shootout of 9 different models of webcams. Now, you'll often see videos where somebody will show you like this. They'll say, this is it, and this is what it looks like, and look here. And they may even do an unboxing and all that, and they'll show you, tell you how long the wire is. You can get all that stuff online. What I think you might need most of all is to see what the camera does. And so I've attempted to show you these 9 different cameras being actually in use so you can see comparatively, and then admittedly I can't make a perfect comparison from one to the other because it's just impossible. I mean, the room that I'm using is fairly well lit. It's not bright. I'm using a ring light behind my webcam in every case except one, because there's one webcam that we're looking at that has its own ring light built in. So you'll see when we get to that one. Anyhow, everything will be broken up into chapters, so you could skip ahead if you want to see something that you're particularly interested in. Most of these are budget models. The first 6, as a matter of fact, are under $50, and the last 3 are over $50, not much over. I think the highest is $70-some. And it'll give you a chance to compare different models and see how they perform. I'm showing them with the ring light, without the ring light, so you can see what they do with limited light that's available. Some do better than others. You'll be able to listen to the microphones, what the microphones do. I'm using, in every case, I'm using the microphone or microphones that are built in to the webcam. I wouldn't automatically rule out a camera if it only has one mic built in, because a lot of them are touting a dual mic stereo system. And so that I don't know that that necessarily gets you better quality sound, unless you're really intent on getting stereo reproduction. Maybe if by chance you're using this webcam to record live music, I can't imagine that. That would be a rare application. However, let's launch into it, and here we go with 9 fairly low budget webcams.
So this is the Depstech 2K. On Amazon, it's shown with a couple of different things that might be the model. QHD and DO5 are what I found. It's not very clear, to be honest, by the description. It is touted as a 2K resolution camera. Not sure if that is accurate based on what I'm seeing in the image, but it is the field of view is 90 degrees, which is fairly common. 30 frames per second. There is no included privacy cover. You can buy the privacy cover on Amazon. There's a plastic one that will stick on the top of the camera and flip down to cover it when you're not using the webcam. Or you can do a special trick with a post-it note. If you don't want to buy one, you just fold this thing over. This is the sticky part. Put that right up on top of the webcam, and then when you're not using it, and it'll block any use of the camera by any unscrupulous characters. I am now using a ring light set up behind the camera, and I'll turn that off now so you can see what the camera can do without it. The room is fairly well lit. There's not much light coming from behind the camera, but the camera does seem to make pretty good use of the existing light in the room. So we're back on the ring light, just to show you an idea of what the camera can do with reproducing color. This is my Beatles Sgt. Pepper mug. To my eyeball, it's pretty accurate to the colors of the artwork on the Beatles Sgt. Pepper album, so that may give you some idea of how this camera can reproduce color. The Depstech 2K webcam.
This is the IFROO A100, or maybe it's the IFROO A100, or the IFROO A100. I don't know how to pronounce it, gotta be honest. It is a 1080p webcam, selling at the time of this video on Amazon for $21.99. Has an 82-degree field of view, a little tighter than the 90-degree ones, and 30 frames per second. There is no included privacy cover. but you can do a rig job. Here's one way to do it. Get a Post-it note, fold it. This is the sticky part. Put that right up on top of the camera, and that'll block out anything when you're not using the camera. Or you can buy one. You can probably buy them on Amazon or elsewhere. I think $6.95, and they'll send you 2 of them. The plastic kind. I think it'll stick on the top of the camera, and then you flip down the cover when you're not using the webcam. So this will give you some idea of how the camera works. I'll show you my excellent color test. This is a coffee mug with the Sgt. Pepper's artwork on it. There it is. I'm trying to get less of a shine on it for you, so you can see how this camera reproduces color. In fairness, I am using a ring light behind the camera. If I do this, it removes the ring light, so you can see how the camera will work without any ring light behind it. The camera seems to make pretty good use of existing light. The IFROO A100 webcam.
So this is the eMeet C960 webcam. At the time of this video, it is selling on Amazon for $29.99. It has a 90-degree field of view, which is fairly common. You will notice that the volume output is not as loud or powerful as some others with the microphones, and I wouldn't automatically be put off by that. You can adjust that probably in the software or whatever you're using, but just wanted to note it. I haven't adjusted any of the volumes on this. I've let them go as is, just so you can make the comparisons yourself. 30 frames per second. There is a privacy cover included with the camera, so you can flip that down when the camera is not in use for your safety and privacy. Turning off the ring light that is behind the camera so that you can see what the camera can do without it. I kind of recommend a ring light. They're not very expensive on Amazon or other fine retailers, and they tend to fill in the shadows on the face and make things look a little nicer. Here's my standard color test for all these cameras, the Sgt. Pepper's mug, so you can get an idea of how it reproduces color.
So here is I do not know how to pronounce this name. This is another one that's, it's spelled SUIRUI. I don't know if it's SUIRUI, or something else. They ought to provide pronunciation guides on these Amazon pages for these products. Anyway, the model number is HD19B. Selling at the time of this video on Amazon for $29.99. It's a 1080p camera. Actually, all the cameras in this Shootout are 1080p, with the exception of the Depstech 2K camera. And so it has a 90-degree field of view, and which is the most common that I've seen on these cameras. It seems to be about right for most people's uses. 30 frames per second, and it does not come with a privacy cover. Again, you can do the Post-it note trick, or you can buy the privacy cover on Amazon and retrofit it yourself. The camera right now is using a ring light behind it to help fill things in. Here's what it looks like without it. It actually does pretty well without the extra added light. But here it is back with it again. And here is a color test for you, just so you can get an idea of how the camera reproduces color. SUIRUI model HD19B webcam. This is the NexiGo N660 webcam. Let me get that so it doesn't glare in your face. Selling on Amazon at the time of this video for $39.99. $1,999. It is a 1080p webcam, 30 frames per second. They're showing it on the Amazon page as 110-degree field of view. I'm skeptical of that because it's much tighter than the other cameras, which are shown as 90-degree field of view. So you be the judge. If that works for you, then it's good to go. It has, let me check my cheat sheet. It has a single mic. I wouldn't be too hung up on how many mics a camera has. There are ones that have a single mic that sound okay, and then there are ones with two mics that may not sound as good. So if it sounds good, it is good. The camera does include a privacy shield that you can fold down when you're not using the camera, which is a good plus. At the moment, there is a ring light behind the camera. Let me turn that off so you can see how it looks without it. Turning it back on. Here is my standard color test. Beetle Sgt. Pepper. Let me get it without a glare, preferably, so you can see how the camera reproduces color. And you be the judge. NexiGo N660 webcam.
Okay, so here's the NexiGo N660E. This one is different from any of the others that we're showing on this shootout. As you can see, it includes its own little ring light around the lens, which could be very handy. I am not using it at the moment just out of pure consistency. I'm using the ring light that I have mounted behind it. I'm going to turn that off now, and then we can try the ring light that is with this camera. You have to touch the actual front of the camera to turn on the ring light. This is the lowest setting of the ring light that comes with the camera. Here is the next one. You touch it a second time. Did I even get that? Come on. That's the second level. I don't want to throw it off so that it gets all cockeyed and crooked. Here comes the third level of light brightness, and that is the camera's light itself being used to show you how that looks. Let me also show you, well, I better tell you a couple of the specs. You can look them up, of course, too. 30 frames per second, fixed focus. There is a privacy screen included with it, which is a little black disc that's magnetic, and you just put it on the lens, put it over the lens, and it stays there. Pretty handy. It does have two mics with noise reduction feature. Pretty much all of the cameras that are showing that they have two mics, they're saying they have noise reduction features. So here is the color check. Beetle Sgt. Pepper mug. Trying to get a glare off of it for you. See how that works. NexiGo N660E webcam. You are looking at this video through the NexiGo N980P. It is a 1080p. Let me get the glare off of it for you. It is a 1080p webcam selling at the time of this video on Amazon for $54.99. 120-degree field of view. It runs at 60 frames per second. You would tend to notice that more with motion, so I guess I'll move something across the screen to give you an idea. It tends to have less blur, probably, than cameras that do not have 60s, that have lower than 60 frames per second. And so it has autofocus. It has a different kind of focus method than any of the others. Manual focus. To focus it, you turn the lens itself. So that's interesting. None of the other cameras has this. I'll show you when I turn it. It throws it off. So then I have to turn it to get it just the way I want it, and I'm trying to be fair to this camera, get it as crisp as I can. All right. So that's a little different from the others. You be the judge. If this is for you, great. Another thing that comes along with with the manual focus is that the lens that you're adjusting, you may not be able to see it as well on this box, but it sticks out like a ½ inch from the camera body. As a result, it may be difficult to put an aftermarket privacy cover on it. It does not come with a privacy cover, so just something to consider. You can probably, again, get away with the post-it note trick. Maybe make this fold a little bigger so that it reaches back and covers over the camera. I am using a ring light at the moment. I will turn off the ring light so you can see what it looks like without it. As I say, I like the use of a ring light. If you can get it positioned right so that it fills in some shadows, it makes it a little nicer for video calls, presentations, and stuff. Here is the color check. You decide how the camera is reproducing colors. NexiGo N980P webcam. Okay, here is the NexiGo N660P webcam. Selling on Amazon at the time of this video for $64 even. It's a 1080p with 60 frames per second, and the way you'll recognize that, you'll notice that more with motion. If this was lower than 64 frames per second, you might notice a lot more blurring as I move my hand across. I know I'm also messing with the automatic gain control on the light doing this, but just to kind of help you see what 60 frames per second will get you. The field of view is 78 degrees on this camera, so as you can see, it's kind of cropped in tighter. It's autofocus as well, which can be very helpful. And also the privacy cover is pretty cool on this one. Built in, that little gadget slides over the lens when you're not using the camera. So that's a good feature. You don't have to lose it. It doesn't come off. Here is, I'll turn off the ring light so you can see what the camera does without the ring light. This is without the ring light. And the ring light tends to fill in some of the wrinkles, but unfortunately not all of them. Here's the color check. My beetle mug. I believe the colors on this, by my eyeball, are fairly accurate to the artwork that was on the original album back in 1967. So hopefully this helps you. The NexiGo N660P webcam. Okay, final camera in our webcam shootout is the Logitech C925-e. It is on Amazon at the time of this video for $71.53. It's the most expensive of the ones that we've checked out. And it's a 1080p resolution with a 78-degree field of view. So that's tighter than some of the others. We had some 90s and 110 and 120 degree field of view. So it's a little tighter. It's probably the tightest that we've had, yeah. Meaning it looks like the camera's closer. Makes your head take up more of the picture. But it's got autofocus. It has its own integrated privacy shield, which is nice. You won't lose it because it's built into the camera. There's a slide on the top of the camera body that you slide over, and then you can see that the cover is white, so you won't try to do a web meeting without opening your lens. And it also has 2 mics with noise reduction capability. Let me turn off the ring light that is behind it. You might even think it looks better without the ring light, so it tends to make good use of the available light that you have. I'm not sitting in a dark room by any means, but this is what it looks like without the ring light. Let me also show you, I'll show you the color chart. Bring it over here more in the middle. This is to give you an idea of what this camera can do, picking up color. Let me turn the ring light back on. It's all washed out. But anyway, that shows you what it can do. The Logitech C925-e webcam.
Okay, so that is our shootout of 9 relatively budget-priced webcams. Let me know in the comments below what you thought, please. Were you able to make a decision on a purchase based on this? Were you surprised at the performance of the lower-priced cameras as opposed to the higher-priced cameras? Let me know. I'd appreciate hearing what you thought. If you found this helpful, I'd appreciate if you would hit that like button. If you'd like to subscribe, that would be fantastic. Thanks. Make it a great day.